Hello. We're going to make this pretty quick. So I got up at around 8 o'clock and immediately I went straight to the restroom and then straight back to bed. Then I woke up at 11 o'clock and I was parched. So I got some water and drank that. So I got rehydrated. Very nice. Afterwards, I went straight to the television and I watched this. What did I watch again? I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Carl Jung and like the quantum field or something like that, or manifesting your reality. It was a pretty interesting video about how, like, if we set our minds towards intentions, the universe will like bend to our will, which sounds pretty cool. I'm down with that theory. Anyways, afterwards I decided to watch a video that goes through various Nintendo Switch games that get improvements on Switch 2. But before I continued watching that, I made 2 sourdough breads, toasts with butter, 2 eggs with salt and pepper, and 3 bacons, and I ate that. After finishing breakfast and watching that video, Video Game Donkey released a new video about Mario Kart World. So I was like, okay, I'll check that out. And once again, it was very funny, entertaining, and very soulful video by Mr. Dunkster. Yeah, I really like watching his stuff because I just think it's really has passion in it, you know, and that's what I look for in anything I watch, like some passion. Well, anyways, after watching that, I went straight to work on my fake 80s AI movie trailer thing, which actually uses images from another YouTuber that I'm just putting those. I screenshot those, then I create a prompt with the help of ChatGPT to kind of guide the AI to make the prompt as easily followed as possible. I use Kling and I also use Minimax's Halua, or I might be saying it wrong actually. But Minimax's video generation tool, and I have them go neck and neck with each other to see which one comes up with a better generation. And honestly, it's a toss-up. Sometimes Kling makes a good generation, and sometimes Minimax makes a great generation. But overall, they do follow the prompt fairly decently enough, although there were some weird glitchy results. After each video was generated, I would take the video that I liked the output of and I would put it in my InShot video editing app on my phone, and I would put it together. Now, originally I just put everything together how it was put together in the YouTube video, and don't worry, when I post this trailer, I'm going to credit the original person who came up with these images. I'm just doing this as kind of like a fun little side project for myself. But anyways, then I realized, it's kind of random. Like, it just jumps from one event to the next. So I basically decided to rearrange the footage and then cut it to be a bit faster, so it had more of a kinetic 80s trailer energy to it. Because I watched some trailers like The Dark Crystal to just get a better understanding of how those types of trailers were made, so I could make a video that was reminiscent of that kind of style of storytelling. Well, anyways, my mom arrived from work, and we had she actually called me as I was generating videos, and she wanted to know if I wanted anything to eat out, and I asked for carne asada nachos from a place called Mocha Salsa. She arrived later, just a few minutes, half hour I'd say. We had it, The lunch, I had the Mocha Salsa carne asada super nachos, and she had the wet burrito, and I have to say it was not good. It was very soggy, it was very wet, it wasn't very flavorful. The avocado was not creamy at all. In fact, it was like avocado water. The cheese wasn't properly melted. Um, and the meat just tasted pretty bland. Um, and everything, the chips were just all socked up. Now, I guess I could say I'd give them the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, well, maybe it's because my mom drove like the food from the restaurant over to the house and it got soggy on the way there. And oh, by the way, I did pay for it. I Venmoed the money. But even so, it just did not taste good at all. And needless to say, I was very disappointed. I even tried to melt the cheese by putting it in the microwave for 30 seconds to see if that would help out, and nah, I think it actually made it a little worse. Oh well. My mom got the wet burrito, and she described it as tasting just really bland and like canned meat, which is not something you want to pay for when you're dumping $16 on food. You know, you want it to be fresh, right? And flavorful. Also, she wanted it to be a mixture of not just meat, but beans and rice in the burrito. So you have a full flavor thing going on. And it wasn't. So overall, extremely disappointing. We will not be going back there again. It was very bad. They destroyed the reputation. I don't know who made it, but sorry, you made us not want to come back there again. Become a better cook, I suppose. Pretty harsh, but that's my honest feelings. If I'm paying what is essentially an hour's worth of wage on a meal, I expect that meal to taste like that hour, was spent well. And if it wasn't spent well, then I feel like I just wasted my hour and my money and my time. All right, moving on. My mom ordered a sink for one of the kitchen cabinets, so we drove over to pick it up. We met a very nice lady who was having her first daughter in her belly, so that was pretty cool. She gave us the sink parts, and we chose the gold ones because there was a gold and sort of a bronze one, but the gold one was nicer. When we got home, my mom was comparing the price to other sinks that were available, and apparently the similar sinks that looks like the one we got for $50 were going upwards of $1,030. So we got a really good deal. Very nice. Afterwards, we had a nice little ice cream and then a little coffee break, half hour before we would get started on doing the next cupboard, as well as installing the drawer to one of the other cupboards. So we went ahead and took our half-hour break before really doing the work, and I was watching this YouTube video of a guy who goes by the online alias Dan Dingle, making silly YouTube VO3 AI video generation prompts and seeing what the software comes up with. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, the results were extremely impressive, and honestly has me worried for the future of filmmakers and artists. Like, it's getting that good and such a rapid pace. Like, it's literally been less than like 3 years since the original Will Smith spaghetti meme, and now you can have Will Smith eating spaghetti and it just looks indistinguishable from reality. It's honestly insane. yeah. But anyways, we started our work on the new drawer, and we spent a good like 2.5 hours on it. And when we were finished, we were able to rectify the issues we had with the original drawer we worked on from last night. And that felt very nice. I really liked that. Yeah. And then we baked a, what was it called? A pizza that has a special type of crust in it, cauliflower crust. And it was really good, actually. The cheese was awesome. It tasted kind of like the nacho cheese on those pizzas from Little Caesars that are like the pretzel pizzas, but it didn't give me a tummy ache. It just tasted good. So honestly, frozen dinners are actually starting to taste better than eating out, which is honestly very depressing. That this future kind of sucks, not gonna lie. Me from 10 years ago, your eating out was cheaper and tasted amazing. Me now, eating out is expensive and tastes like it was made with the tears of extremely sad, overworked, underpaid workers. Not great. Probably something to do with the economy and the cost of living and life being unsustainable in a lot of living situations. But I digress. Anyways, we had that pizza. Well, we watched a new Y-Files about synchronicities, and it was a quite interesting video about how if you utilize your mind to be in touch with like the universal oneness and like the quantum field, you'll be able to achieve whatever dream you set your mind to. It was very fascinating and interesting video. I'd recommend watching it. There's some cool stories in there, especially one about Anthony Hopkins from the actor. That guy had a really cool story that you should definitely check out. Even my mom got a laugh from it, which was cool. Then after we were done with that, my mom was talking all about, this was actually before, while we were waiting for the pizza to heat up, and after my mom put epoxy resin on the cabinet so it wouldn't get any water damage when set on the floor next to the sink that's going to be installed tomorrow, by the way. She was telling me all about how the plumbing is going to work for that cabinet that will have the sink installed in it. So she was letting me in on all the information. It was a lot to take in, for sure. I was a little overwhelmed by it, not gonna lie. Yeah, so after Y-Files, we all retreated to our rooms, presumably to go to sleep, but instead I spent the rest of my time generating new videos for that fake 80s trailer that I was working on. I finally got all the footage I needed. Now I just need to cut it and maybe add some sound effects and some music, some title cards and maybe a narration and all that good stuff to really legitimize it and make it more engaging and believable as a real film that could have been made. Then I was like, oh yeah, I haven't made my update video, and it's like 2:21 in the morning. So yeah, here's the update video, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.